Hello, welcome to MJ's Mystical Tarot, where tarot and true crime come together to hopefully get answers. Today, I don't have time for a full reading, so what I want to do is a short video on a recent video, as a follow-up to a recent video I did on Dan Davis. Dan is a 59-year-old man from Chicago who went missing November 25th and was last seen on CCTV November 26th around 6:30 p.m. He has not been seen or heard from since, and there's a lot of concern. It looked like he was in a car accident on his way to work, refused medical treatment. Video footage shows him not walking properly, stumbling, tripping over things. His family said that wasn't normal for him. So there's questions about maybe he had a stroke, maybe he had some type of a head injury. Where he lived was left in disarray. The windows were open. He had either broken or dirty dishes left out, not the way he would usually leave his home. And after my video, somebody that watched the video asked me to ask a few questions. And I thought a yes or no style video for this would be appropriate for him. So I have my crystal ball oracle deck. I will ask the question. Then I will use the dice to confirm the answer. Numbers 1, 3, and 5 represent no. 2, 4, and 6 is a yes. So in this case, if I was to roll the dice and this came up, it would be a no. So we will see if we can get a few questions. So I want to call in the spirit, the energy and the spirit guides around Dan Davis, please and thank you. Dan Davis, Dan Davis, Dan Davis. My first question, Dan Davis, are you currently physically alive? Please and thank you. Are you currently physically alive? Please and thank you. Listen to your intuition. In my last reading, I got the impression from the cards and my feeling that he may not be alive, unfortunately. As weird as this sounds, I pray that I'm wrong, because I really hope that he can be found alive. Dan Davis. Is Dan Davis currently physically alive? Please and thank you. And that is giving me a yes. So there's a possibility he could still be alive. Dan Davis, are you physically currently in Swallow Cliff Stairs? Please and thank you. Are you currently physically in Swallow Cliff Stairs? Not the right. Dan Davis, are you currently physically in Swallow Cliff Stairs? Please and thank you. That's giving me a no. Dan Davis, are you currently physically located in a forest? Please and thank you. Are you currently in a forest? Listen to your intuition. Dan Davis. Is Dan Davis currently located in a forest? Please and thank you. And that is giving me a yes. Dan Davis, did somebody come over to your house on November 25th? Did somebody stop by your house on November 25th? Please and thank you. No. Let's roll the dice. Did somebody stop by Dan Davis's house on November 25th? That's giving me a yes. So is it that Dan doesn't want to talk? Because sometimes it's all about the way you word the questions. Did Dan Davis have an altercation at his home on November 25th, please and thank you. Did Dan Davis have an altercation with someone in his home on November 25th before he went missing? These smaller, thinner decks are very difficult to shuffle. I prefer one with a little bit more cards because it's easier to grab hold, and I feel like that's the one. Listen, I hate that one for these questions. Did Dan Davis have an altercation with somebody at his home on November 25th, please and thank you? And that's giving a yes, which is something I did pick up in my last reading, that somebody might have stopped by and there might have been an altercation. Was Dan Davis injured from this altercation on November 25th? Was Dan Davis injured from the altercation? Please and thank you. No. Was Dan Davis injured from the altercation in his home on November 25th, please and thank you? And that's giving a yes. So I'm guessing he was injured in his home before he went missing, but whether it's related to the altercation, I'm guessing it's a little difficult for anyone to say if it was directly related to that. Was the person or persons who stopped by Dan Davis's house on November 25th part of the mob? Please and thank you. Was or were the people involved part of the mob that stopped by? Okay, you're giving me too many. I just need a simple yes or no, please. Was this person or persons part of the mob? Please and thank you. Of a mob, not the mob, sorry, of a mob. Get more information. Was any of the people involved in this altercation with Dan Davis part of a mob, please and thank you? Let go. Was any of the people involved in the altercation part of a mob? Please and thank you. And that is giving a no. So I don't know if it's that they don't want to say. I feel a lot of apprehension from the energy around me right now. Did Dan Davis have a stroke on November 25th? Did Dan Davis have a stroke? Please and thank you. Did Dan Davis have a stroke on November 25th? Please and thank you. No. Did Dan Davis have a stroke on November 25th? Please and thank you. And I'm getting a no. So if he didn't have a stroke, I'm guessing he has some type of a head injury, most likely from an altercation, but possibly unrelated to the altercation. I wish it was more cut and dry answers, but I feel that this energy around me is very apprehensive, very cautious. So even though in my last video I got that he might not be alive, there's a possibility he could be. And I'm kind of picking up that maybe he's hiding as a way to keep himself and his family safe. But if the mob isn't involved, I don't know. You know, if somebody didn't stop by, I don't know why he would need to hide. So keep in mind, this is for entertainment purposes. This is not anything fact-based that I just did. Sadly, this just kind of brings up more questions for when I have time to do a longer video with the cards. And hopefully we can get more clarification and more answers with that. So if you have questions for me to ask Dan in that longer video, please feel free to link them below, or leave them below, sorry. I don't know why I said link them below. I would appreciate it. If you have another case you would like me to cover, please list that below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I first heard about Dan's case on the channel Crime with Kate, so I will link her video and channel down below. If you are into true crime and you're not already subscribed to Crime with Kate, you really should. She does a really great job at getting the facts of the story and trying to stick with that and avoid a lot of rumors of this might have happened. And if it is a rumor, she will say there's a rumor that blah, blah, blah. But she tries to stick with the facts, and she presents these cases in a very compassionate way. And I really appreciate the way that she presents her cases. So I will link her below. If you're not familiar with her, you should check her out if you like true crime. And again, until next time, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.